Ayanokoji is the mysterious protagonist of the anime classroom of the elite that can be summed up in one main quote, offered in the second episode. It takes a great talent and skill to continue one talent and skill. Lao Shuko. In the first class, we see him predict who will be the class leader. He claims to have no skills or talent while looking outside of the window and directly at the audience. He's breaking the fourth wall in a sense. He hides his abilities not only from the people but also from us. After the group dynamics in the class are formed, and both he and Horitaka are left isolated, Horitaka is the black-haired girl. She calls him pitiful. This is something he will use almost immediately. Next scene, he is asked for a favor by the girl that he deems to be very social and will have a large circle of friends. She asks him to arrange a meeting between her and Horitaka because she seems unapproachable. And so he does. He goes to Horitaka and admits that he's insecure about going to the cafe and to gain sympathy, especially since he didn't form a relationship with others just like her. The key here is that it works because he uses the mental image she assigned him to convince her. He uses her own perception. He doesn't care that his approach makes him look weak. He is willing to use any approach that gets him what he wants. After they arrive at the cafe, Kushida, the blonde, says hi, and Horitaka wants to leave. Her intuition tells her that this was an ambush, and Kushida claims that it's merely a coincidence. Now, when someone is accused of for something serious or dangerous, the natural reaction is anger, mixed with disgust. When someone is accused of something small and not so serious, the natural reaction is usually confusion. Instead of giving excuses, if you are accused of something, ask what they mean. Remember that the burden is on the accuser. Because of the previous incident, in the next episode, Horitaka mentions that if he wants to get on her good side, he can convince the students of the class to join her study group. He fails to do this initially, but he uses this one trick. Ayo uses someone the target already likes or is susceptible to achieve the objective. Since Kushida is very popular with everyone, they are more likely to say yes to her. Liking is a principle of influence after all. If your friend doesn't want to go to a party, tell him that his crush will go too. That way he's more likely to go.
いや、喜べ串田。お前は親善大使に選ばれた。クラスのために尽力してくれ。
So what did he do to convince Kushida? He approached her from the right angle using the image she likes to portray herself. Everyone's friend. She likes to see herself as everyone's friend. That's why he called her the ambassador of goodwill. This is great with children too. What kids or teens want to be is to be considered as an adult. If you give a kid a list of chores to do, he's more likely to do it if you call him a soldier and chores as missions. Ayo used what people are susceptible to once again when he was bargaining with a senior student to get previous exam questions. He used a cute girl to gain sympathy while appealing to his desperation and highlighting his need for better food. He used the girl, an appealing bait. Then, he accentuated pain gained from not getting the money and the positive of accepting the deal. After he gets the questions, and now that it's his chance to be the hero of the class and get all the attention, he asks Kushida to take the credit for getting them. He does the same thing with Horitaka after their classmates are saved from getting expelled from the school. He hides his abilities and gives credit to be free of expectations and stay stealthy. A law of power is to make people work for you and take the credit. He does the opposite because his goal is not personal power, but for the class to rise to the top and for him to work behind the scenes. A few episodes later, one of their classmates is accused of violence against students from another class. This will result in his expulsion. Now the entire class accepts to help except Horitaka. In order to get her to participate, this is what Ayu does.
お前こそどうなんだよ。手を貸した者の一人として。
今の私たちは0ポイント。 仮に退学者が出て減点になってもこれ以上減りようがない。
He knows that Horitaka wants to ascend to Class A, and according to the rules of their high school, you can only ascend as a team. So you have to get your team to get the best marks, stay away from trouble and so on, if you want any chance to increase your ranking.
見えてない加点や減点がないとは言い切れないからな。
どういう意味？
表示されてないだけで本当はマイナスポイントが増えるかもしれない。
He appeals to the fear of losing that chance, as well as fear of the unknown. An expulsion might be a hidden condition that prevents them from reaching that goal. They don't really know that. Just because the negative consequences of an action won't hit you now, it doesn't mean you got away free. He feeds on her fear, her paranoia. He feeds on her detail-oriented and controlling nature. She is the paranoid type. People who are paranoid are afraid of uncertainty. Now she has no choice but to participate. After some work, they manage to find a witness by the name of Sakura. The other members of the class try to get her to testify, but she is terrified. Later on, she asks for Ayanokoji's advice on what to do. Ayanokoji decides to handle the situation based on his observations. He noticed that most people warm up to the two-faced Kushida, the blonde girl, but this one didn't. She must be intuitive and hypersensitive.
須藤のため、串田のため、クラスメートのため、そんな考えは一度全部捨てろ。
全部捨てる？
あれもこれも考えて抱え込まなくていい。証言するのはさくら自身のためだ。
So he advised her that she follows her inner voice, and he echoed what she said before. She's afraid she will regret it if she doesn't say anything. If she chooses to confess, she should do it for her own sake. Sometimes applying no pressure is better than trying to manage people, specifically with the authentic or the blend types. Ayanokoji likes to suggest things and insinuate instead of forcing them. This is one of the best things you can learn from this character. Now, despite the testimony, nothing really changed, so they needed something more concrete. Ayo and Horitaka visited the site where the fight happened, and Ayo got an idea on how to save his classmate, but he has to get Horitaka to reach it first in order to keep his low profile. She noticed the heat is overwhelming, so he insinuates the idea that it's a great place for a trap. You can push your enemy to make a mistake by making them overreact, by controlling where the battle is fought, or by making sure their mental faculties dull when it's time to make a decision. This is why cults deprive their victims from sleep, or gets them isolated, or keeps them working hard, because it gets them tired and mentally weak.
いい策が思いつきそうか。
今考えてるわ。さくらさんの証言で審議を延長させることができた。あと一つ決め手となる何かが見つかれば。
Next, he places the role of the detective on her, saying, "Do you think you can come up with a plan?" And as someone whose identity is based on being smart, she will naturally accept it.
そういえばここにはないんだな。
え？
監視カメラ。
そうね。もしもカメラがあれば確実な証拠になったでしょうね。そもそも。
He brings to her attention that there aren't any cameras here, so she combines the two facts and reaches the plan he had in mind. She combined the fact that the place is perfect for an ambush, and no documentation exists for the fight. So they decided to take advantage and bluff the opposition. During a fight or altercation, what's the chance that you will pay attention to anything but the threat? After the fight, you want to leave as quickly as possible, so you can recover somewhere safe. Ayo and Horitaka were counting on this fact. On the fact that the classmates who tried to ambush their friend didn't notice if there are any cameras or not. So, they installed cameras and they situated themselves near one. They sent fake emails from the popular girl's account and set the location where the fight was. They managed to successfully create doubt in their heads and provoke them to make a mistake. When damage occurs and school interferes, no matter who started things, both parties get the punishment. So Ayu argued that the school council was testing them probably, since the cameras have witnessed the fight. Now they both had something to lose. They have leverage, and they could use it to get their friend out of trouble. You have to take advantage of what the person doesn't know. In some time, all you need is to plant a seed of doubt. So after Horitaka realizes he manipulated her to forge evidence, he gaslights her by saying she's overthinking. Manipulators often make you doubt your own cognition and memory. If you are a natural overthinker, they will accuse you of overthinking. If you are intuitive, they will call your theories far-fetched. If you have a reputation of being absent-minded, they will deny or change what they said to make you confused. If you think you are dealing with a gaslighter, document what's going on around you. Save up screenshots, emails. Don't face them until you have the evidence, unlike what she did here. Throughout the series, Ayanokoji displayed other tricks, taking roles in activities to not stand out from the crowd, customizing the manipulation to the person involved, being wary of others and what they reveal to him, the information they disclose, for example, observing and assessing others and their abilities, Hirata's organizational and leadership skills, Aiki's situational awareness. He asks Horitaka if she told Hirata what to say or did she come up with the answer on her own. He asks Class B leader for intel on the opposition, telling him a potential spy that he trusts her to ease her guard, containing bad news to limit panic, creating chaos through the camp to give the infiltrated a chance to do what they want. I know so many of you ask for this analysis, so I hope you liked the video.